Hey everyone, welcome to our deep dive, all about the psychology of persuasion.
Yeah.
We're going to crack the code of influence today.
Mm.
Like all those subtle tactics people use to get others to say yes.
It's really interesting.
And we've got a stack of research.
Yeah.
Real world examples.
Absolutely.
And let me tell you, this stuff is pure gold.
It is.
Especially if you're like looking to level up in life.
Total.
You know, whether that's like acing that job interview or negotiating a killer salary or even just becoming like a master persuader in everyday situations.
So these tactics are fascinating because they're kind of all around us, right?
Yeah.
Like they're operating below the radar.
Yeah.
And once you start to see them, you can't unsee them. And that's where the real power comes in.
It is like getting a backstage pass
It is.
to how decisions are made.
Totally.
So first up, we're tackling the power of reciprocation.
Okay.
And this one is all about like that deep-seated human need to return a favor, even for things we didn't ask for.
Exactly. Think about it.
Yeah.
Like, wouldn't society just be total chaos if, like, no one ever returned favors?
Right.
It's like reciprocation is the glue that holds everything together.
Okay, so there's this story in the research about this professor who sent Christmas cards to total strangers.
What?
Yeah, like total strangers.
Okay.
And guess what happened?
What happened?
He got cards back.
No way.
I know it seems absurd.
It does.
But it really highlights how deeply ingrained this rule is.
It does.
Even when we don't even know the person.
Right.
We feel this urge
to
reciprocate the gesture.
Wow.
It's wild. And marketers, they know this, right?
Oh, yeah, for sure.
Like, ever felt pressured to buy something
Oh, yeah.
after trying a free sample?
Oh, all the time.
That's reciprocation in action.
Yeah.
You feel obligated even though you didn't even ask for the freebie.
Right. And you know what? There's even this example in the research. The Disabled American Veterans Organization, they actually use this principle to like dramatically increase their donation rate.
Oh, wow.
By including free address labels in their mailings.
Really?
Yeah, they nearly doubled their success rate.
That's a huge jump.
It is.
So like for our listeners out there
Yeah.
who are trying to like, you know, climb the ladder, build their network,
Yeah.
even just navigate like social situations.
Yeah.
Like understanding this principle is key.
It is.
Like recognizing when someone might be using these reciprocation tactics
Right.
can help you make more informed choices.
For sure. It's not about being like cynical,
Right.
you know, or like rejecting every act of kindness.
Yeah.
It's just about being aware of the underlying psychology and making sure like you're in control of your decisions.
I like that. All right, let's shift gears
Okay.
to another powerful tactic.
Okay.
It's called the rejection then retreat technique.
Okay.
Imagine this, okay?
Yeah, okay.
Like a Boy Scout comes to your door selling those like crazy expensive candy bars.
Yeah. Right.
Right. You politely decline.
Of course.
Then what happens?
I'm having snacks.
He hits you with a smaller request,
Oh.
like maybe a cheaper candy bar or even just a donation.
Okay.
And then suddenly you're way more likely to say yes.
Interesting. So why is that?
Ooh, because it feels like you're getting a deal,
Oh.
like a compromise.
I see.
But it's all part of the plan.
It's all calculated.
It is.
Wow.
This technique plays on our desire for fairness
Okay.
and our tendency to reciprocate concessions.
Mm-hmm.
So by starting with a larger ask,
Yeah.
even if it's like deliberately outrageous,
Right.
they make their desired outcome
Yeah.
seem more reasonable in comparison.
That's clever.
It is. And the crazy thing is,
Yeah.
this technique works on a much grander scale.
Really?
Yeah, remember the Watergate scandal?
Oh, yeah.
G. Gordon Liddy,
Yeah.
the mastermind behind the break-in, he used this tactic to get his plan approved.
Oh, how?
He started with these like outlandish proposals,
Like what?
like using a yacht filled with high-class call girls for blackmail.
Oh, my gosh.
Naturally, those got shot down.
Yeah.
But then he presented the break-in
Yeah.
as a scaled-back,
Yeah.
more practical option.
Wow.
And it worked.
So it's like a strategy of extremes.
It is.
That's wild.
So if you're thinking about asking for a raise
Mm-hmm.
or negotiating a better deal,
Sure.
or even just trying to like get your way,
Okay.
keep this in mind. Like
Right.
starting with a bold ask
Yeah.
can make your desired outcome seem more reasonable by comparison.
So it's all about framing.
It is.
Interesting.
And remember, this technique is about like strategic compromise,
Right.
not manipulation.
Yeah.
It's about like presenting options
No.
and being willing to negotiate.
Okay, cool. I like that.
Okay, now let's talk about something
Yeah.
that can like really supercharge your goals.
Okay, what's that?
It's commitment and consistency.
Interesting.
And we humans have this like intense need to appear consistent with our past actions.
Yes.
Even if those actions were small or insignificant.
It's true. We do it all the time.
It's all about self-perception.
It is.
We want to see ourselves as reliable and true to our word.
Right.
And this desire, it drives our decisions.
It does.
In a very powerful way.
Totally.
And businesses, they know this.
They do?
The deep dive actually has this fascinating example about toy companies and their sneaky tactic for boosting sales.
Okay, I'm intrigued. Tell me more.
They would deliberately undersupply popular toys before Christmas, knowing full well they'd sell out and create a frenzy.
Gotcha.
And then after Christmas, they'd ramp up the advertising, reminding the kids of the toy they missed out on.
Oh, so sneaky.
And then cue the whining.
Oh, yeah.
The kids are like, you promised, you promised. And the parents, feeling the pressure to be consistent with their word, they cave and buy the toy.
Wow. So they're like manipulating our psychology.
They are.
To drive sales. That's wild.
It shows how companies can strategically exploit our need for consistency to drive sales, even if it means creating like artificial scarcity.
Wow, that's crazy.
So how can you use this principle to your advantage?
Yeah, I'm curious.
Think about your goals, like your dreams. If you want to make them happen, you need to make a real commitment. Write it down.
Gotcha.
Tell someone about it. Take concrete steps. The more invested you become, the more likely you are to follow through.
So it's about action. It's not just intention.
Exactly. It's about taking control of your own psychology and using it to propel yourself forward.
I love that.
Okay, up next, we're diving into the world of social proof.
Oh.
And how the actions of others can subtly shape our own choices.
Interesting.
Stay with us.
All right, welcome back.
We're continuing our deep dive, into the psychology of persuasion.
All these like hidden forces that shape our decisions.
Yeah, it's like mind control almost.
Kind of.
But not really.
Well, yeah.
Okay, so next up, we're diving into the world of social proof. And this is all about like how we look to others for cues.
Yeah.
Especially when we're not sure what to do.
Right. It's like the wisdom of the crowd effect.
Yeah, exactly.
Like we assume if everyone else is doing something, it must be right.
It must be the right thing to do.
Right.
And it's kind of like an unwritten rule we all follow.
It is.
Without even realizing it.
Totally.
It's like that feeling when you're walking down the street.
Yeah.
And everyone suddenly stops and looks up. You're going to stop and look up too.
You have to, right?
Even if you have no idea what's going on.
You're so curious.
Yeah. And that instinct can be incredibly powerful.
It can.
Even when the crowd is totally fictional.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Remember the War of the Worlds broadcast?
The radio one.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
It's like a radio drama about an alien invasion.
Right.
But it sounded so real.
Yeah.
That like a ton of people panicked.
Really?
Yeah. They thought it was actually happening.
So they were freaking out based on a story.
Based on a story.
Wow.
They heard other people panicking on the radio.
Yeah.
And so they assumed it must be like a real threat.
Oh, wow.
It shows how quickly this like social proof can take hold.
Yeah.
Especially in uncertain situations.
That's a good point.
And like marketers, they use this all the time.
Oh, yeah, all the time.
Like testimonials, online reviews.
Yep.
You know those like 9 out of 10 dentists recommend claims?
Yeah.
They're all banking on our tendency to follow the lead of others.
Totally. Like when we see that other people have bought a product or endorsed a service, it makes us feel more confident in our own decision.
It's like, okay, if everyone else loves it, I probably will too.
Right, exactly.
But this principle isn't always so harmless. The research mentioned something called bystander inaction.
Okay.
And it's pretty chilling.
Okay, what is that?
It's the idea that people are less likely to help someone in need.
Oh, wow.
If there are other witnesses present.
Really?
Yeah, think about it this way.
Okay.
If you're the only person who sees someone in trouble, you feel like a direct responsibility to act.
Right.
But if there's like a bunch of people around, the responsibility gets diffused.
Oh, interesting.
The deep dive talked about the case of Kitty Genovese.
Yeah, I've heard of that.
She was murdered in New York City while like several neighbors heard her screams for help.
Oh, gosh.
But no one intervened.
Oh, that's awful.
It's a heartbreaking story.
It is.
And it really highlights like the dark side of social proof.
Right.
Everyone just assumes someone else would call the police.